Hi, this is Comic Talk.
I'm Drew.
I'm Joshua. And we're talking about She-Wolf.
So in this here book, it's a bit of a coming of age story about a young girl, and she's also a werewolf. She believes that her ex-boyfriend infected her with a disease, and we're repeatedly introduced to the fact that that's probably not the case. And then there's some demon shit that happens. She meets a vampire.
Yeah, that's the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, by the way, by Rich Tommaso. It's kind of a one-man operation, I think. Mm-hmm. And we picked this up randomly. I think it came out about, I don't know, a month ago, give or take a week or so. I don't know exactly anymore.
Sure.
And yeah, we just kind of grabbed it because it was new and it looked super strange on the inside when I looked at some pages of it, right? And part of this new format we have is a chance to
look at random shit.
Do things like this.
Yeah.
So I would say the two things that stick out to me about this, or like descriptionary kind of things, would be it's very impressionistic.
In like a stream of consciousness kind of way?
That was going to be the other term I was going to use, is stream of consciousness. It's the story is linear, more or less, but it's not really dialogue-y in a real kind of way.
Yeah, they're going for more of like an experiential vibe.
Yeah, experiential is really good description of it. And that follows along with like the artistic style of this, which is this really loose, elongated, swirly kind of vibe. And on one hand, I like what they're trying to do. I like it when somebody puts something out that doesn't just hit all the normal notes and beats and styles, and you're not quite sure, like you have to think about it a little more as you read it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I didn't really feel like it was that successful of a storytelling endeavor.
No, I thought it was pretty stupid, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even down to there's some little details, like her principal's last name is like Cullen, which is like the vampires on fucking Twilight.
Yeah, there was a lot of...
And the wolf form, she kind of looks like Lady Rainicorn on Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Just kind of long. And so there's weird things about that, but that's sort of like surface level. Deeper than that, I feel like the main thing that bugs me about this is I don't feel like the art and the storytelling style mix. Like, I think this sort of stream of consciousness, dipping into like Satanism and like murder and all this stuff, I think with a really detailed kind of creepy art style probably could have been pulled off pretty well, but it's just like super cartoony when you look at it, and it keeps you from really investing in anything or taking anything seriously. And on the other hand, that the art style I think would really be great for like a very obviously tongue-in-cheek sort of almost parody of the genre, but we don't really get that. We get a serious take on it. So I feel like it's in two different spots, and they don't fit together at all.
Yeah, it seems to me like we get a very just cliched sort of story, right? Yeah. Everything is a trope that we've seen before. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere does it really venture into new territory.
There was like the origin of the werewolf kind of story. I think, I'm not super into werewolf lore, but I'd never heard like that version of how it came about or whatever before.
That's true.
So
yeah, that's fair. But I think really what I mean is just the beats that the story tells.
Sure.
It follows a very standard kind of path. And it feels like this Tommaso fellow, he's trying to sort of jazz that up with this more experiential dialogue style and storytelling where there's very little context. That's one of the things. Nothing really has context behind it. and not even really at the end. Like, a lot of times when something lacks context as you're reading it, the fun of that, Grant Morrison does this a lot. I think he's famous for it, really, is you get no context until the end when things tie up. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
But this doesn't ever do that. It really just languishes around in the contextless happenings.
A lot of it is so on the nose that you don't really need context.
Right.
Which I don't think is necessarily a good thing.
No, I don't either.
You know,
I agree.
it's like you take something super, obvious and well known and whatever, and then you just take out the context. It's like, well, you haven't added anything.
Right.
You've just stripped it down based on the fact that your audience knows exactly what you're going to do from this point on.
Right. It just sort of feels entirely unnecessary in the end, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you get done reading it and nothing has been gained. Really, the only thing that's happened is 20 minutes has passed.
That's about how long it took to read, too.
You know?
This is a quick read.
Very fast read, because there's just not much in here. And there's nothing, like, happening artistically to make up that time.
Sure, yeah.
You know, I can't even imagine reading this in singles. You know, it'd be a 2-minute read, and you'd be like, well, what was that? You know?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I would probably be pissed off. Like, I paid fucking $3.99 for this 7 words.
Right. She ran outside. She said, whoa. And then she went back inside. And then she got scraped on the face. You know, and that's an issue. Like, yeah, it's not impressed with this. If you're the kind of person that opens this up, if you're at the shop and you open this up and go, whoa, that looks pretty cool and different, that's the entirety of it.
Yeah.
That's as far as
your enjoyment's gonna go.
Yeah, you just finished up basically with it. You might as well just put it back. Do this with it like I'm doing here. And look at it and read a couple, and you'll get as much of the story, learn as much as you needed to, and
you'll identify just as much with the characters.
Yeah, that's it. It's this is a big dud in my opinion.
Is there an audience that you can see for this?
Not really.
No. I was thinking about this actually on my way home today, because I read this before work. I would say maybe like teenish would enjoy it, but then at the same time there's like boobs and vagina in it, so like I'm not going to give it to a teenager.
Right. Yeah, I don't know who this is written for or why. It really doesn't occupy any sort of space. You know, there is no need for this book.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for anybody. I can't imagine the point.
Yeah, unless you just collect the werewolf shit. And then
There you go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't even need this review. You just buy it. It doesn't matter how good it is.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's it. It's our review of this thing, She-Wolf. Check back with this
Soon.
So coming out, we have, I think next we have Unbelievable Gwenpool?
Unbeatable.
I think it's Unbelievable Gwenpool.
Okay.
I don't know. I lose track of the adjectives. Yeah. So we got that coming up. We're going to talk about it. It just came out the end of November. Right back that way, just a little bit. We've got Grant Morrison's Wonder Woman. We have Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men. Got Clean Room by Gail Simone.
We talked about getting to heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
In the future.
Here in about, maybe 3 weeks or so, give or take. We're going to talk about Grant Morrison's heavy metal, what he's done there so far. A big retrospective. Is that a thing?
Retrospective?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a thing that we can do?
I think so.
Or is that something that somebody else has to... Do you have to do a retrospective about yourself, or does the person have to be involved?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because it's not actually... We're not retrospecting about ourselves. We're retrospecting about Grant Morrison.
Right. I don't know, but that's what we're going to do. And you know what? I haven't mentioned this yet, but we should do another commentary. We have not done one of those in quite a while.
Commentary? You mean Talks Comics?
No, commentary.
Comment commentary.
Yeah, where we look.
I was like, we always comment on comics. What else do we do?
Comic talk, commentary, where we take your comments that you've had in the last 6 months or so since the last time we did one. We round them all up, get the ones we like the best, and then we talk about them. What do you think?
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll do one of those this month as well. So look forward to that. That's all.